Hello everybody, welcome to episode 251 of Shofi, where today we'll be going over episode 4 of Bleach 1000 Year Blood War Season 4. And oh boy, this episode... Mickey Mouse, oh boy! But genuinely, this episode is one of my favorite in all of Bleach. It is phenomenal. So we see this episode starts off, and we're kind of in like that little like soul society, like science area or observation area, and we see that the worlds are starting to converge. Hollows are starting to break into Earth a little bit more easily, not too crazy at the moment, but things are starting to go awry. So then we end up flashing back over to the fight between Gerard, Kenpachi, Toshiro, and Byakuya. And this fight continues to get crazier and crazier because we see as Kenpachi ultimately fights to the point that he has to pull out his Bankai, his recently acquired Bankai, and it just impenetrable levels of aura, impeccable design. Like, it is so cool. He becomes like this demon looking form. He has like fully red skin, almost like, well, not, I mean, Gear 2 isn't really red skin, it's pinkish skin, but like it's like if Gear 2 was redder and gave you horns, and it just looks sick, and he becomes an absolute beast in doing this. We see as Gerard throws a punch at him at first, he stops it with his teeth. Insane. And so after that, we see as he puts the 1-2 up with Gerard a little bit, gets a little bit pugilistic, and then he just bisects, bro, right down the center. I think it's not the mid-sagittal. It might be the mid-sagittal. I don't know, because it has been a moment since I took any health classes. But yeah, so he gets bisected right down the middle, and then we see as he gets right back up. Nothing is beating this guy, Gerard. He is an absolute unit, or Gerard. And he gets back up with this new form where he's like the ultimate warrior, a god, or something like that, he says, and it is referred to as Ashtanig? Yeah, Ashtanig. So this new form, I'm just going to keep calling him Gerard, honestly, because he's still just Gerard. But yeah, so we then see as Kenpachi is beat pretty easily by this guy, and Kenpachi actually ends up overpowering one of his arms with his Bankai, and this ends up leading to it getting cut off. I don't know if it was this, I think it was Gerard that did it, but like it's also possibly that the Bankai being too overpowered caused him to lose his arm. So then after that, we had saw previously in the episode that Toshiro and Byakuya were kind of plotting on what to do with Gerard. So what they plan to do is use Toshiro's ice abilities with his Bankai to freeze Gerard and then have Byakuya shatter him with his Senbon Sakura. So then we actually get to see as his plan is, I guess, decided to be executed because now Kenpachi's kind of out for the count for the time being. So see, Toshiro ultimately ends up using his Bankai to try and freeze him. However, we get to see a new form, like this like ultimate technique kind of thing, where he begins to age, but he also increases his power at the same time. And we see as he goes about fighting Gerard, and he's doing pretty good. Like, he's going pretty toe to toe with him. However, he doesn't really do too much damage, but ultimately he is able to freeze Gerard, and then Byakuya comes in for the clutch, uses his ultimate technique of his Senbon Sakura. It's like a different name, but it's still Senbon Sakura, but it's like blades all surrounding him, stuff like that, and tries to shatter Gerard. This does nothing, because Gerard just ends up coming back with another more like astral looking form. And so we see as he's still fighting, well, they're still fighting him at Kenpachi and Toshiro predominantly at the moment. And we then see as, crap. Oh my gosh. Renji? Well, hold up. Why am I forgetting the bum's name? Yes, Renji and Rukia. Why does that not sound right? Renji Obarai? That's his name. I'd be absolutely wrong. I'm like on Bleach LARPer, but I mean, he's the bum, the red-headed bum with the Vegeta hairline. But yeah. So, see as him and Rukia end up pulling up and speaking with Byakuya, and they're like, yo, do you need help here? Byakuya's like, no, go help Kurosaki up in the Count Palace area where he's fighting Yuhabaha. Ultimately, they end up getting sent off, and then we end up flashing back to Ichigo, and we get a great look at his semi-hollowfied form. Glorious. Genuinely one of the best forms that we've ever seen, at least design-wise, from I guess, Big 3, Big 3 MC. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my different Kurama forms from Naruto and all of my gears from Luffy, but semi-hollowfied Ichigo? Ain't much beating that. And like, Bleach is personally my least favorite out of the big 3, but it's got some of the best transformations. That's like hands down. But yeah, so see this transformation in better view, and we then learn from Ichigo that it is him essentially taming the hollow within him and using it to his own benefit rather than allowing it to take over like he did with Okiura and stuff like that, where he harmed Orihime and everything. But yeah, so, and Oryu at the same time. So then we see as he ends up going up against Yuhabaha, and Yuhabaha just kind of thinks on this and everything. Well, he's not thinking on it, but he's like, okay, I'll give you the time of day now. So he ends up whipping out his Quincy blade, and we see as the OG Bleach music starts to play the crap. The center of attraction. But you know the song I'm talking about, the OG Bleach music. It starts playing. Why do I not know the name of that song? I enjoy the song, but it's like not. I guess it's not necessarily playlist worthy, so I don't know the name of it. It is playlist worthy, but I just don't want it on my playlist. But yeah, so this song starts playing, and then Ichigo pulls out a move we have not seen yet, and Yuhabaha has not either, because it takes him by surprise. So we see as Yuhabaha is watching, he's like, hold up here, he's coming out with the Getsuga Tensho. This ain't nothing new. What the heck is he doing? This bum. He's a one-trick pony. How did I almost forget that for a time? But yeah. So we then see as he ends up pulling this out, and Yuhabaha's like, wait, hold up here. This is not a Getsuga Tensho. It is a combination of a Getsuga Tensho and a Gran Rei Sero, and Ichigo's about to blast Yuhabaha with it. So that is kind of where episode 4 of Bleach 1000-Year Blood War season 4 ends, and holy smokes, is that a hype episode. Like, I was like locked in the entire time, like straight, my eyes were glued to the screen. A little bit of drool, a little bit of dribble coming down, not a dribble, but drivel coming down my chin. I was just like, because it was awesome. Seeing the Bankai of my favorite character in all of Bleach, peak, and just seeing how well he performed. Like, even though, I mean, Gerard is a unit. Gerard is like almost impossible to beat, because like I don't even know how they're gonna beat him. I don't have any iota of a clue how they're gonna beat him, because he just keeps respawning essentially and keeps getting stronger. That's kind of his whole shtick. But yeah, so and then like getting to see Semi-hollowfied Ichigo in battle, whew, glorious. But yeah, that's all it really was for episode 4 of Bleach 1000-Year Blood War Season 4, and that's all I really have for episode 251 of Shelf Review. So, thank you very much for watching.